In the dark alley of the human body where the sun doesn't shine, a timid, naive T-cell, Butters, was on patrol. Naive T-cells are immature that have yet to encounter any antigens. Suddenly, staring at him was a zombified cell. Soon, Butters found himself getting Zerg-rushed and was running for his dear life. In this moment of peril, Whitman squeezed into the alley by transmigration and cut down the zombies. Whitman offered his prayers and explained that these were ordinary cells infected by the influenza virus. Influenza is divided into types A, B, and C, causing symptoms such as fever above 38 degrees Celsius and aches. The virus uses infected cells' machinery to multiply, gaining mutations in the process. A horde of zombies appeared, and Whitman rallied Butters to fight them. However, Butters refused to due to his cowardice. Just as Whitman was about to be overrun, Macrophage arrived and quelled the situation with grace and elegance. She analyzed the antigen of the slaughtered virus and reported to Helper T-cell that the viruses were type B influenza. Macrophage gleefully told the two that killer T-cells would soon arrive after she had reported the situation. Butters was horrified and begged them to let him claim one of the kills. But it was too late as Kelvin and other killer T-cells arrived and began their killing. Butters tried to sneak out of their sight but was discovered and berated for his lack of contribution. As there were still many more zombies, Kelvin forced Butters to fight. While the rest of the white blood cells were giving their all, Memory T-cell was Captain I's power, digging through his diary, giving information on the previous invasion of type B influenza. Kelvin bellowed at Butters to contribute. However, he zoned out and had to be rescued. After getting a hairdryer treatment, Butters wimped out from the battlefield. Butters ended up at the lymph node, where he encountered a dendritic cell, Daniel, whose main job is to process antigen material, such as fragments of microbes, and present it to the T-cells, resulting in their activation. Butters broke down and confessed his feelings of inadequacy. Daniel gave Butters words of encouragement, enlightening him that no one started off strong. He showed him a collage of his senpai's time in the thymus when they were still weak, naive T-cells. Daniel continued to explain that his senpai were hard on Butters, probably because they saw themselves in him. Daniel concluded that everyone has a role to play. Neutrophils patrol, macrophages pass the information, helper T-cells give orders, and killer T-cells kill the pathogens. With a pat of antigen on Butters' shoulder, he became activated. Influenza multiplied rapidly at the rate of 100 viruses every 8 hours, hence reaching 1 million in a day. The zombies scattered the virus, causing more cells to be infected. Just as the immune system was getting overrun, a giga Chad appeared. It was Butters, now an effector T-cell. Butters had also undergone multiple cell divisions, as many copies of him showed up. Billy the B-cell, an antibody-producing white blood cell, also showed up to support the team by tagging the pathogens with antibodies. The immune system kicked into Gear 5, slaughtering the infected cells. Energy meant for digestion was also diverted to body defense, resulting in a loss of appetite. The body also increased its temperature, releasing heat shock proteins that help to increase the agility of T-cells. They also bind and transport pathogens to phagocytic cells. Vasoconstriction reduced blood flow to the skin surface to help retain the excess heat, which explains the chills in hands and feet while having a fever. With the whole body at work, the tide of battle finally turned. The body also sneezed to expel the viruses. As the threat subsided, to avoid overheating, the body's homeostasis kicked in, increasing sweat production to cool the surface of the body. 1 week later, all the influenza seemed to have been exterminated from the body. Kelvin congratulated Butters for his work, but Billy bemoaned that he was the actual MVP in the second half of the fight. Whitman agreed with him. All were in a celebratory mood when, suddenly, a new zombie came lumbering towards the team. A confident Butters rushed over to deliver a finishing punch. However, he was easily swept aside and sent blasting off like Team Rocket. Billy tried to tag the zombie with antibodies, but they just wouldn't stick. Trembling, Whitman pointed out that it was a type A influenza that had infected the cell. Type A mutates faster than B, creating new strains every flu season. Past flu vaccinations will not prevent infection from a new strain. The virus multiplied and mutated, infecting many cells as macrophage reported the situation to the dendritic cell, seeking reinforcement. Billy skedaddled off to make new antibodies, leaving the rest to face the never-ending battle against pathogens' threat.